Hey guys, this is Jeff Cicchini with QB Pros. We provide valuable insight and strategic guidance to make your business more focused, effective, and profitable. In this tutorial, we are going to create two different customer mailing lists from QuickBooks Online in Excel format that will later be used for a mail merge with Word. The first mailing list will be simply of active customers. The second mailing list will take that first mailing list and reduce it down to those customers who had sales in the current year. Okay, let's begin. From the reports, from the left navigation reports menu, we'll choose all reports. And if you're not in the review sales section, you'll have to click all reports and go into review sales. That's a little tricky thing that sometimes people don't know. Under customer contact list, click customize. Rows, expand the rows and columns by clicking on the triangle. Click change columns. We're going to leave the customer field because we need that. But the other ones we don't want, actually. The full name and the billing address and the shipping address, these are calculated fields that take other fields and concatenate them together, bring them together. And that actually creates a problem in the mail merge. It creates a symbol that is hard to get rid of. So we'll just leave the customer field, then we'll go ahead and select the individual fields: company name, billing street, billing city, billing state, billing zip, and that is last name and first name is what we're looking for. Scroll back up to the top. And I like to reorder just so that I know that I have the things that I'm looking for. Customer, company name, last name, first name, last name. Okay, I've got everything. So you might be wondering why the customer name and the company name. Well, the customer name is a required field that specifically identifies the customer in the customer database list in QuickBooks Online, where the company name field may not be populated with data. And so we are going to need both, because the customer we're going to use to match between two lists for that second mailing list where we want to reduce down the active customers to those that had sales. And we need some field in common between the two reports to make a match. And that's the customer field, because it always has data that's unique to each customer. Where the company name field is what we want to show on the envelopes if data is present in it. If it's not, the mail merge will just skip that field. Okay, we'll go ahead and collapse rows columns. I want to point out here that if you expand filter, you can cherry pick the customers if you'd like, to just the customers that you want by just cherry picking them one by one. We're going to leave it as all. The header footer, we'll expand that. We'll remove the company name, the report title, the date prepared, and the time prepared, really all the header and footer fields, because those will just cause problems in our mail merge if we don't get those out of the Excel document from the start. Otherwise, we'll have to clean it up later. Here's our list. We'll go ahead and export this to Excel by clicking the export icon, the little square with the arrow pointing outward. Go ahead and save that. We'll open it up here and maximize the screen. We need to clean it up just a little bit. We need to select those two blank rows. We'll delete those, and that blank column, we'll select it and delete that. Again, we just need to have just the data and the column headers. We don't want blank columns or blank rows. Particular fields can have like blank, like no company name. That's not a problem. Okay, so as we look at our data, this is our time to clean it up and see if there is any essential data that's missing. This particular individual, Dylan, does not have an address. You could type it in if you want. Or if you don't have it, then we'll delete it, because that's not going to really work with a mail merge. Then you'll see that we have a customer here, Freeman Sporting Goods. So we have 3 of these, and it just represents the parent and the the jobs. So the parent customer and then the jobs. We're going to remove the jobs. So we're not going to send multiple mailings to the same company. So we look for anybody else that we have the same kind of situation, and we have that here with Sharna Barnett. Here's a job. Right click, delete. And looks like we got everybody. Everybody else has got data in the fields, the address fields, because that's really important. We'll click save. And at this point, if you're just looking for an address list of contacts to use in a mail merge, you're done. This is it. You can proceed on to the mail merge. If you want that second list where we reduce this list down to represent only customers that had sales in the current year, then we'll have to take a few more steps. So we'll minimize Excel. We'll go back to the report list by clicking on that link up above. It's a quick way to get back. Sales by customer summary is what we're looking for. Click customize. We want if the report period to be this year, if they had sales this year. We'll also click header footer for the same reason. We'll get rid of the header and footer fields, all of them. Click run report. And here we'll export again to Excel. Click save. Open it up. Maximize so we can see what we're doing. And there'll be a little bit of cleanup that we have to do. So there's this total column header we'll delete. And then you'll see with Freeman Sporting Goods again, you'll have the parent company and you'll have the jobs. So we'll want to remove the jobs again. And also the total line for the jobs. See that total line there? So we want to remove all three of those. And we had another, Sharna Barnett had a job and the total then. We'll remove that. Not a problem that there's no value data in here because we're not going to use the values for the mail merge anyway. We see that that we do have the ability, though, if there's somebody that we wanted to remove for some reason, like for instance, Pies Cakes, doesn't really look like they had sales this year. Maybe they had a small return. So we'll just go ahead and remove them. That's your discretion. We'll also want to remove this total row as well. So once we've cleaned up our data, we'll go ahead and select it and copy it. Now there, you can select it by hand if it's a large list. The trick would be to choose Control, Shift, and the down arrow, and that selects everything in that column. So we'll just click copy. We don't need the amounts. Go ahead and minimize Excel, and we'll bring up the contact list. We will create a another worksheet here. We'll call it has sales this year. Doesn't really matter what you call it. We'll go ahead and paste it. Whoops. What we want to do is make that, we just did a Control Z to back it out. And we want to make that column a little wider first before we paste it in. That way the rows don't get so high that we can't see what we're doing here. Okay. So we'll go back to the customer contact list, and we're going to go ahead and add a column that we'll call has sales, and we'll make that wider too so that we can see the formula if we need to. We're going to use a function called match. So we'll type =match, open parentheses, lookup value. The lookup value is that customer field. Remember, that was the field that's required in QuickBooks when you add a customer. You have to have something in that field. That will be the field that's in common between the two lists. So we'll choose that, push comma. Now it's telling us, the IntelliSense is telling us lookup array. Okay, lookup array is that list of customers that had sales. So we'll click on to that tab. We'll select that list. Come up here to the formula bar. We'll click into it, and what we want to do is we want to click into each one of the cell references, and we want to press F4, which makes it an absolute reference. And we'll do that for the other one as well. We want these to be absolute references so that these don't change as we copy the formula down. Then we'll press the comma, and we want exact match. Double click on that for it to populate as 0. And then end parentheses, press enter, and the value is populated. So what this means is that we have found the customer name Amy's Bird Sanctuary in row number 1 of our lookup array. So if we take this formula, click on the cell, and we double click or drag, it doesn't matter which, but double clicking is easy. It populates that same formula all the way down. And we see that each one of these fields has a number where it had been found. That customer name on this worksheet has been found in the Has Sales This Year worksheet. So what we'll do is click on that uppermost cell of the first row of data of that column, and come on over here to Sort and Filter. Sort largest to smallest. In doing that, it will bring all of the pound NA values to the top. Now, the pound NA is where there was no name found in that Has Sales This Year tab. So that means that this customer or these customers with pound NA do not have sales this year. So we'll go ahead, since we sorted them all together, it makes it easy just to go ahead and select them and right click and delete them, because those are the ones we want to get rid of. The rest of them were found in the list at that row, and we'll just go ahead and remove the column by right clicking it, choosing delete. We'll come over to the customer column, right click and delete, because we do not need that in our mail merge. Go ahead and click, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and delete the Has Sales This Year tab worksheet. We'll delete that. And now we have a really clean customer contact address database for a mail merge. Don't forget to save. If this video has been helpful to you, please let us know by clicking like and subscribe. We'd love to work with you further if you need personalized QuickBooks help or want to become more focused, effective, and profitable in your business.